Over the past 4.5 months at this point, I've been trying to offer solutions, trying to properly diagnose the ever-evolving problem that is the ongoing Bud Light boycott. And, well, this one, if I was in the Bud Light marketing department, this would be the first thing that I would do. Listen, all of your terrible ad campaigns that have continued to perpetuate everything that has been terrible about the past 20 years of society clearly isn't working. And then the way that Alyssa Heinerschneid wanted to maneuver some stuff clearly isn't working. What would you end up doing? Oh, I don't know. When were all the Bud Light and Budweiser campaigns so popular? What were they doing? Well, they were just using attractive women in order to push their product. And what would I do? This one right here, okay? Over the past 3 years, there has been this chick down there at the U.S. Open tournament, and she's, been famous for chugging beer. I would make sure that that was a Bud Light cup. She was drinking Bud Light, because you got a 27-year-old cutie who's known for throwing them back. Because Bud Light is just absolutely going to throw away this opportunity, any beer company that has a brain in their fucking head, this is the easiest W that you can possibly take up. Sponsor that bitch right fucking now. It's not like throwing away money to Dylan Mulvaney. Obviously, that's not going to move any product. Unless you can find drinkable hormones. Nothing comes from that. But this right here, easy money, man. It'll do nothing but boost your brand. Because what's that old marketing saying, okay? Fuck the customers? No. Sex sells. She's about the closest thing that you can get to an exciting moment on the tennis court. Viral sensation, U.S. Open beer girl, Megan Lucky. Perfect name, man. Returning to chug this year. Megan Lucky became a viral sensation for chugging her beer at the last 2 U.S. Open tournaments. I got laid off from my corporate job back last fall, and then I was traveling the world a little bit to find myself. As cliche as it sounds, Lucky27, former recruiter, told the Post, I still haven't been able to truly monetize, so I'm starting to post more on socials. Exactly, man. And I wonder how difficult it is for her to get monetization. Wow, you're famous for drinking. I'll give you 2 other reasons why you're so successful. The blonde beauty first went viral in 2021 for guzzling a Heineken on the Jumbotron in a typically reserved tennis tournament, vowed to return to the U.S. Open in Queens on September 1st. I don't know what came over me, but it was a fun moment, super spontaneous, and I don't think anything about it except for to get the crowd going. Listen, perfect sponsorship opportunity, man. I don't get it. Just an hour later, the camera found her again. She proceeded to guzzle the beer belonging to her boyfriend, Connecticut native Andrew Dillinger. And yeah, this guy is the quintessential placeholder boyfriend. Because, well, I would personally shut it down. That's just me, though, okay? And you can tell based on, all the pictures that are out there. But last year, she returned to the tournament with Dillinger, who said is super supportive. Yes, exactly. Says every cuck boyfriend. I just hold her hand in case things get a little bit too intense for her, and I make sure that the camera doesn't fog up. I remember sitting down, looking over to my camera guy not far away, and we had made eye contact, and I was like, you, and I was like, oh my god, it's happening. Sorry, what? That was completely out of context. Right, she didn't expect to get filmed again. Yes, this was the second year in a row, my mistake, in 2022. But yeah, the U.S. Open shared the moment on Instagram, this time with side-by-side footage from both years, along with a time clock that shows both the instances. Her chugs clocked in at exactly 7.37 seconds. I don't know, is that good? It's the exact same time. I have no idea how that happened. I don't practice. Lucky, who hosts a podcast called Lucky Life, I bet it's absolute AIDS. That's what most female podcasts are. But again, hey man, you just want to go ahead and draw the lines on that one. You can tell who likes who more, who's the prize in the relationship, and then by year 4, who's going to turn up with a different, super supportive partner. Because, okay, I had 3,000 followers on Instagram. And then it went to 25,000. Then the second year it went to 100,000. Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine all the DMs that she's getting? It's fantastic. Great for her. She definitely put all of her attributes to good use. And because nobody decided, maybe they didn't know. Maybe they didn't know about the second year. Okay, the first year, obviously an anomaly. Then she comes back for the second year. That's very interesting. If nobody hops on getting the chug cam, okay, having the cup, the prominent branding that's on their U.S. Open sponsored by blah, blah, blah. You're absolutely stupid, because this is the easiest victory in the world. A 20-something blonde with C cups. It's slam dunk marketing in a time where businesses have to be educated on these types of situations, going, no, it's actually not smart for you guys to go ahead and try to appeal to a small fraction of a percentage of the population. All you're going to do is just basically burn your money. I don't know what the hell you're doing, but it looks like, at least when the classes come back in the next couple of weeks, which is just wild to think about, but we're here at this point in time. Time moves forward unflinchingly. Any business schools worth their exorbitant prices would be looking at this scenario and wondering, trying to dissect exactly how it went so wrong, how it continued to go on, and what you can learn from this catastrophe. So Bud Light's unforeseen error makes enticing case for business schools. Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary says. Now, this is a reprint from Fox Business, and I don't know, does he like have a talking head show that's over there? Because he's been talking about this quite a bit. Bud Light's unprecedented downfall is becoming a striking topic in business schools among the U.S. A Shark Tank investor, Kevin O'Leary, gears up to teach a course this fall. Hey, good. Hey, man, if you're in his course, don't know where he's going to be teaching. Maybe they'll end up talking about that, but at least somebody's keeping their references relevant. This was an unforeseen error, O'Leary told Fox Business' Cheryl Casone when describing Bud Light's combination of idiotic management during his appearance on Cavuto Coast to Coast. How many people are involved in this? Okay. It's such an incredible story that it's becoming what's called a chestnut case in business schools. Okay. I'm licking my chops to teach this case, O'Leary continued. I've tried twice now. The class lights up like I've never seen before. That's what you want. You want a chestnut case. That we've got one here. Yeah, I have no idea what that is, but whatever. Bud Light, parent company Anheuser Busch, did not respond. Fox News Digital request, blah, 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 all that stuff, obviously. Bud Light fallout began after the company created and sent custom beer cans. I think we know at this point in time. We got it. Actually lose 25% to the share in 6 weeks has never been achieved in the history of a beer business in America, the Shark Tank star expressed. Companies across the country witnessing the dethroning of Bud Light's reign in the beer industry. The sentiment of going woke and going broke as a result is having an impact in boardrooms. No, that's not true, guys, because look at Barbie's success. God, you people are stupid if you're making those brain-dead analogies. This is the hottest topic in the public boardrooms across America right now. The impact of social media on the market capitalization is unprecedented, and it started with Anheuser Busch. Exactly, because there has been so many such cases before where companies do some weird stuff, betrays their audience, but it never really sticks, at least not for this long. This one right here, Black Swan event. Maybe that's also, just what that whole chestnut case is. The hard shell to crack, and then there's a delicious treat in the center. Is that what we're dealing with? I don't know. You had Nike doing it multiple times, hell, even over the past half decade. Never really sticks because, well, their audience is so broad. And then, yeah, to just bring up the Barbie comparison, yeah, well, it is just absolute feminist propaganda, and the only way that people can enjoy that hodgepodge of disparate ideas is in an ironic sense. Its audience from the beginning was always going to be 20 or late 20s, early 30s single women who control most of the purse strings in the United States and then an overwhelming majority of the debt. So of course it was going to be successful. Didn't realize how successful it was going to be, but ultimately you can kind of learn from that. Same lesson that you can learn from the Bud Light situation. Simply appeal to your core demographic. Know it and don't betray it. It's pretty simple stuff, right? So this is why, okay, because we looked at Best Buy yesterday, and now, well, we have another problem. Another problem that's over here with Skittles. Skittles risks a Bud Light treatment after partnership with Glad and Pride Packaging. It's so funny. It's so funny because, yeah, we were talking about so much of this stuff during the old Pride month in June, and there was a certain specific lack of big over-the-top sponsorship programs. Almost like everybody got spooked by the failure that was Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light, and, well, I guess the whole idea that it's going to be Pride season going forward? Well, looks like there's some validity to that. So what is Skittles doing on this one? Partnering specifically with Glad? Yeah, it's a little bit on the nose, but all right. During May and June, Skittles partnered with Glad and the designers, the whatever stupid community, for the fourth year in a row to redesign its packaging. Images of the packaging, the promotion of Black Trans Lives Matter. I'm sorry, what? You needed a smaller subsection of people? Okay. Caused a stir after they were shared on social media this week, with conservatives calling to boycott the brand. It's a candy brand. It's like for all the fur that was spurned up by taking Aunt Jemima off of high fructose corn syrup bottles. A little bit of brown coloring, didn't really materialize in much. Shelving Uncle Ben for generic rice company. How you gonna end up how you gonna end a subsidiary? I think they're under the Mars umbrella, which is another one of those big five grocery brand companies that run basically everything. They have like a 95% market capitalization, so it's gonna be a little bit tough, but I like the enthusiasm. Let's just put it at that. In a post on X, the End Wokeness account, a good account, posts a lot of funny memes, shared the picture and wrote, Skittles has partnered with GLAD, a group that supports sex procedures for kids. Oh man, is it the Trevor Project? Because so many places have been doing that as well, and that is gross. Black Trans Lives Matter. It's now in their packaging too. For some reason, it added, you know what to do. I don't know, boycott Skittles because it's just, sugary poison. Or remember that, I did a story on this. God, I think it might have been earlier this year. Regardless, but there's an additive that's in Skittles that's kind of banned around most of Europe. So maybe you should be boycotting it for health reasons, but if you want to do it for ideological reasons, you do you. During a post in May, the brand announced that it partnered with the Alphabet Mafia artists to design and release 5 limited edition Skittles packages to tell visual stories of pride. It can't be any longer than that because, well, life expectancy and all. It added that for every Pride pack sold, they would donate $1, going up to $100,000 for GLAD to bring their ongoing efforts to work through a media to support the Alphabet community. Well, that's all that GLAD does, man. It's a gay and lesbian, and then as the ADL for queers. On the back of the packaging, Skittles says, we are giving up our rainbow so that the gay artists can share theirs. Oh my god, we're passing the rainbow torch. The overwhelming response to the post is people calling to boycott the candy brand. That's nice. Megan Brock shared a clip. Are we supposed to know who Megan Brock is? Shared a clip from last year's campaign that also featured an artist wearing a support trans kids t-shirt. Yeah, but I would much rather them have access to those t-shirts because I want to be able to publicly identify pedophiles whenever I do see them. On its website, Skittles knows that it's partnered with Audible to listen to your Skittles. Like when you put them in Coke, like what are we doing here? Coke the drink, not Coke the, Hunter Biden powder. Make gay stories accessible everywhere in the Query podcast. What are we doing? To create a special Pride-themed mini-series. It's so funny. So all of the stuff, what we're kind of finding out here, because ultimately boycotting Skittles, it's like, I don't know, just eat a regular diet and then you'll just live long enough that you won't get hustled by the next plandemic. And you'll also be financially free enough to make your own dietary decisions and not be forced to eat the boogs. So yeah, all of this stuff has been going on for years, but now all of a sudden it's starting to peak up. Yeah. It's either, I don't know, is this stuff getting worse or is this just all coming to the forefront now that people are starting to be emboldened? Worked against Bud Light. It's sort of worked against Target. There's another lawsuit in that in development as well. But instead of being like a leftist and try to tear everything else down, just try to build something else, okay? Like I said, take my advice. Take the easy W on this one. If I'm ultra conservative, ultra right beer, I'm making sure that that's a cup that's in her hand in a couple of weeks' time. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.